What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be covering a man. He's over in Israel. They call him Rav Shlomo Yehuda, or also he's known as the Yanuka. I did a small little thing on him yesterday on my live, and today we're just going to pick it up and investigate a little more. I found a pretty interesting video. It's some rabbinical Jews over in Israel saying they were given a timeline for their redemption by the Yanuka or something, which seemed really interesting to me. So we're gonna check out a few videos. So he's supposedly a musical genius on top of knowing every book of the Torah, etc., all that. I had seen this video probably, I would say, last year sometime. And I don't know, this song was just beautiful to me. This kid can sing for sure right here. And the whole song's to God, basically, so I thought it was a beautiful song. I figured we'd play it. So let's get going. That's the Yanuka playing piano, and this kid he's supposedly the most famous singer in Israel. So his name is Madi Steinmetz. Shlomo Yehuda Berry. I think that's Yanuka. Shlomo Yehuda. I'm not gonna pause it just because it's like I said, it was a really beautiful song. So I'm gonna let it play through. What's up, whoever is joining? I'm doing a video on this guy named the Yanuka in Israel, and I was just playing a song him and this singer from Israel made to start it out. That guy's wrist flop always killed me when I watched this. Yesterday I was talking about this man right here. He is always behind him. No matter where he is, you will see this man right here every time with him. No matter where he goes, this guy is right behind him somewhere. What I always found interesting about this is look at these screens in the background. It's showing like flames and fire. That always just stood out to me when I saw this the first time. That's just pure God-given talent right there. That's all from God, that voice. Now, however he chooses to use it and what he does with it is on him, but there's still no doubt about it. That's from God.
You are a fearless soldier, just like a cheetah in the dark, quietly approaching the castle, without the enemies noticing.
They say he's married, but in my opinion, I've wondered a few times if they have some type of relationship going on. That's just my thoughts. Who knows? If you guys ever wondered why most Jewish people, especially in Israel, all have beards like this, it's because Scripture tells us not to round the corner of our beards. It basically says don't round the corner of your beards. That's why they wear a full beard. What's up, whoever joined? See, there's no point in even announcing it. They always leave so fast. let this play through for like a minute. I think my cord for my computer finally came that I had to order, my charging cord. So I'm going to need that here shortly. So I'm going to run out and grab it. I'm going to let this play for a minute.
Have you heard about Ryoko Pro? This is the cutting-edge portable Wi-Fi hotspot that people wish they found out about sooner. With this pocket Wi-Fi, you can simply stay connected whether you're working, traveling, or simply on the go. But why should your internet be overpriced, unreliable, full of hidden fees, and riddled with poor coverage when a modern, affordable solution is reshaping the industry as we speak? Introducing Ryoko.
I'm going to go ahead and drop a StreamYard link. Anybody that always pops through, if you got anything to say, you're more than welcome. It doesn't matter who you are. It goes for Mike and everybody. I'm not a coward. I don't hide on my channel. You guys are free to come over here and say whatever you want. I went over this a little bit yesterday. Anybody watches, and when he says Hashem, he's talking to God when he says Hashem. The Jewish belief is it's forbidden to call Yahweh by his true name. So they don't even call him God. They call him Hashem, which is a euphemism of God, which God is a euphemism of Yah. So it's basically a double euphemism. That's why I've told people in the past, like, why... For me, it makes no sense. For them, it's part of their tradition and religion, so I understand that. But I've seen other Christians using it, and I'm like, why? It's a euphemism of a euphemism. we're told to spread his name as Christians. So, but when I'm talking to like Jewish people, I don't ever say it in front of them. That's just like completely rude and stuff. So I don't go around saying it in front of them, stuff like that either. I know I'll be aware of it basically. Yeah, the man definitely knows how to play piano, and this kid can definitely sing. So here's one I found. It's called Redemption Roadmap Confirmed by
Okay, here we
Yanuka. This is a Rabbi Harry Rosenberg. So I'm interested what they're meaning. I know what Redemption Roadmap means. I mean, obviously sounds to me like they say they have a road. They're going to say they have a roadmap for the Messiah. Basically, is what it sounds like. And it says confirmed by the Yanuka. But I could be off. But that's what I get out of it. Let's see.
we are. My name is Rabbi Harry Rosenberg, and with my good friend
Reuven,
who happens to be humble but a famous musician. I believe played on a lot of famous songs around the world, including Despacito, maybe. No, turn that off.
No,
I
no,
thought,
it's okay. No.
I thought I saw Despacito.
No, I wrote for one of
Oh,
his
the guy.
songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
He wrote for the Despacito master, which is for any American in the world. You know, that's as glorious as life can get for the American lifestyle.
No, actually, my if you're already talking
Oh,
to
once
the
we're
Americans,
yeah.
you're already talking to the Americans, then I had the privilege to sing live with Stevie Wonder on stage.
Oh, that's actually a real big honor. It's a real big couple.
It's not a big honor, guys. Who cares? Stevie Wonder isn't even blind. He's a liar. Bro, there's so many videos of mic stands falling and Stevie Wonder's reaching out and snatching them out of midair. That dude is not blind, guys. Everyone in music knows the man isn't blind. There's literally videos of him catching stuff out of midair, guys. It's so funny.
Yeah. So
Can't even joke about that because he's.
Yeah, what an honor doing a song with somebody in Satan's music business. Such an honor.
yeah. So that's if you want to go. That was my highlight as far as the career.
Well, it's my honor to discuss with you something that we're working on based on Vilna Gaon's playbook for the Geula that we brought to Rav Yanuka for approval. And right now we'll go over what this strategy is and what the Rav Yanuka said and some of the miracles surrounding it. First, we start off in the Vilna Gaon over here in the Sefer Oro Tagra. And just to mention, I'm a descendant of the Vilna Gaon, and I think that these things interest me just simply because of epigenetics, because it's in my genetics to be thinking about these matters. So it says over here, Be'et HaGeula, Yigalu Berishona Aseret HaShvatim.
At the time of the redemption, the 10 tribes will receive the redemption first, and then the tribe of Judah will get redeemed.
Geula happens, there's going to be a redemption. At the end of the time of the exile, could be any day now, there will be a Geula, and it's going to come first to Aseret HaShvatim, the 10 tribes. And then afterwards, the tribe of Yehuda. Who's the tribe of Yehuda? How does the Hatikva go? You're the singer. Nefesh
Yehudi.
Yehudi Homia, the soul of the Judite. In our national anthem, we say Nefesh Yehudi. We don't say Nefesh Yisraeli, not the soul of the Israelite, but the soul of the Jew. Afterwards, the
The soul, not the soul of the Israelite, the soul of the Jew. Yeah, that's got to be some Talmud stuff right there, guys, for sure. I don't see the issue of being an Israelite.
generation of the wilderness that didn't make it into Israel will come back. That's already a little metaphysical. We'll get to that after.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Talmud for sure. When he says metaphysical, that's a whole conversation, guys. Go look up metaphysical. He's definitely talking about some Talmud stuff.
So who are the 10 Shvatim?
This is the great question. I love that you asked it. First and foremost, the Vilna Gaon is considered the greatest halachic authority maybe for like 1,000 years time.
Halakhic, Hebrew for lawgiver and clarifier of the laws of Moses.
Meaning you don't have really anyone going against what he said. You can have other opinions, but he was considered the greatest halachic, Kabbalistic master of his time for hundreds of years.
You heard it right there. Kabbalistic master, the Cabal, witchcraft. That's what the Cabal is, guys, witchcraft. That's why you see celebs like Madonna wearing red strings on their wrist. That's the Cabal or Kabbalah. I mean, it's dark magic. It's black magic, witchcraft, guys, straight up.
Years before and after. And so all the yeshivas today in Israel are studying Talmud of the Vilna edition. You know, everything comes from Vilna.
So you heard him. All the leaders in Israel are studying basically witchcraft, guys.
Of our Torah and Gemara learning. So his words are taken seriously.
Okay.
So I go to.
If it's from the Torah, it's okay. But once you get into the Talmud and the Cabal and the Zohar and all that, that's all witchcraft, guys.
The big rabbis. And I go to the guys who are learning Torah all day, all night. I say, the Vilna Gaon said it. What does it mean to you? And everyone's drawing. What is it? What?
See, but this is going to get me in some trouble. I understand the difference between the true Israelites of Yahweh and the synagogue of Satan. There's a huge difference, guys. The synagogue of Satan are the fake ones the Bible talks about. There's a huge difference between them, guys. A major difference. The synagogue of Satan's are the one that run the world and the banks and all that. And run Israel.
What are we supposed to do with this?
I see. Probably shouldn't get into all that.
We don't even know what it's talking about. So here we are. We're going to go through what we call the sugya.
Yeah, who cares? The truth is the truth. So, guys, the word Palestine comes from the Bible, from the Philistines. There's never been a Palestine, guys. Yasser Arafat in the late 1900s, like the 1980s, declared Palestine a state. Nobody really recognized it. Palestine isn't a state, guys. Why do you think they're talking about a two-state solution? Because Palestine is not a state. It's not recognized legally. There is no Palestine, guys. There never was.
Yeah, this topic, and we'll get a little bit of clarity. See, over here we have a timeline. We have the children of Israel going here, blue, and then boom. You see there's a split of the kingdom of Israel and the kingdom of Judah. So we know that there's 12 tribes, the sons of Jacob are the tribes of Israel. Mm-hmm. They leave Egypt, they go into the land.
Yeah, notice on that map you didn't see no Palestine.
They end up building a holy temple, a Beit HaMikdash.
Now don't get me wrong, I don't agree with the bombings and the innocent lives being lost, the children, the women, none of that. I don't stand for none of that either. But I mean they went in and started it first, guys. They went in and started killing women and children. What do you think would happen if they did that over here in America? Palestine would have been blown off the map within 2 days, guys. Guaranteed if they did that over here. So, I mean, every country has a right to defend themselves. And that's what they did, in my opinion.
Mikdash.
Mm-hmm. You got to figure, guys, they are literally surrounded by Muslim nations that hate them. And all they want to do is destroy them. Like, they have every right to defend their land and themselves.
King Solomon's there. And then we see...
That's me. I stand with God's true chosen people, though, no matter what. You got to go back to the scripture. I will bless those that bless Israel. I will curse those that curse her. I stand with them no matter what, guys. So I don't care who gets offended by that or mad or whatever. Oh, well, don't care.
Shortly after King Solomon's reign, there's what's called the secession. There's a split. The kingdom of Judah is in the south, and the kingdom of Israel is in the north. Why'd they split? They say that the taxes were too high for the northern 10 tribes to go down to pay their taxes for the temple. So they ended up making their own temple.
What does this mean, Assyrian exile?
This exile happens now to the 10 tribes. So when the 10 tribes go into exile, when they get kicked out of the land, the tribe of Judah stayed for hundreds of years more. So the Assyrians come in.
We're talking about from 3,000 to 3,300. So 300 years
ago.
Huh?
This is this is the year 3300. So this would be
all this happens in 300 years.
Yeah. Well, the first temple stood, I believe, for 410 years, I believe. And so while the first temple was still standing, 10 tribes.
And when he says Assyrian, that's a people, guys. There's actual Assyrian Christians. The Bible actually calls the Antichrist the Assyrian too. It's from a region up around like Turkey, Mesopotamia, up in there, but they're an actual people, the Assyrians, and some of them are Christian, believe it or not.
Tribes going to exile.
Like there's a famous YouTuber. His name is like Patrick David Bett. He's an Assyrian, and I believe the other guy, Sam Shimon, is an Assyrian too. I'm pretty sure he is.
This is before the story of Purim, before the Jews get kicked out of the land. 10 tribes disappear.
Do we have any background of where they exiled to?
In the Psukim in the Tanakh, they'll say, for example, they've gone to the river Gozan, ad hayom hazeh, until this day, meaning wherever they were sent.
Yeah, they were scattered across the globe, basically. We know that.
To were these days. Now, all the locations listed into the Tanakh.
But see, they don't even spell out the word God, guys. They put G and then /D. That's why they use the word Hashem. They don't even say the word God either. But the New Testament tells us as Christians to spread his name. That's why we do it, because we're told to.
Where they were
But
sent
they definitely are told it's forbidden for them to speak his name in the old in their old writings.
to are places we identify today where it would be, and we look at the people there and we see some
Not so much forbidden. It's just it's too holy for them to speak it. There's stuff like that in their writings. That's why they don't do it.
interesting coincidences that we're going to discuss in a few minutes. But it's a fascinating thing. Why, first of all, did the Assyrians exile them and not just kill them? This was the Assyrian army's military strategy in general. They wouldn't just kill people. It's you lose soldiers, you have to feed the soldiers. War is costly. But to intimidate and exile the people is much more cheaper, affordable. And also what it does is acts as a military barrier between other nations. So the Assyrians would have put the Israelites to a far enough east position on the edge of their kingdom to be the barrier between the Mongols, the Mongolian invading armies, which would come into the Assyrians.
Yeah, so basically like Genghis Khan, the Mongols. It's crazy. They say something like, let me look it up. I don't know what percentage it is, but I think it's like 20% of the population is related to Genghis Khan. He had so many children. It's crazy. Let me look that up real quick. Okay, so it says according to genetic studies, approximately 0.5% of the male population worldwide is estimated to be related to Genghis Khan, meaning they carry his Y chromosome, which is passed from father to son. This translates to around 16 million men today. That's crazy. I've heard higher numbers than that too. That's pretty crazy either way. That boy, he was busy.
Assyrians, and there would be a barrier of the Israelites between them. So they were military geniuses, the Assyrians, and they exiled the northern 10 tribes of Israel while we were still first in the first temple of Jerusalem. While
Yeah, Genghis Khan was a freak. That boy was busy.
we were going to the Beit HaMikdash and the Holy Temple, and this is where the terminology "lost tribes of Israel" came from.
This is interesting because you're saying that there was a temple built when the kingdom of Judah basically reigned in that time. And then you have kingdom of Israel in exile. So what happened to the kingdom of Judah that time?
So they got to stay in Jerusalem for a couple hundred years more, doing their temple worship. So, and eventually, if you read over here, there was the Babylonian exile. Mm-hmm. And this is...
See, this is all from the Kabbalah. See right here, esoteric wisdom. Esoteric meaning the occult, guys. That's what esoteric means. It means it's occult. It's occult knowledge. But you see, this is anything you see that's from the Kabbalah. I wouldn't believe too much. I mean, they probably do put some truths in there, but yeah, I would take it with a grain of salt if it's from esoteric wisdom.
It's exactly when the story of Purim happens.
Okay.
But the crazy thing is, what I'm trying to bring to everyone's attention
is this one. Is this the 10?
Not only that, is how long were the Jewish people in Babylon for before we go back and build the second temple? How long was the story of Purim when we were there, and Mordechai and Esther? How many years were we there? We were only there for 70 years. The whole story took place in 70 years before we went back to Israel to build the second temple. Now my question is, how many nations did the king of Babylon at the time, Achashverosh, rule over? 127 nations. And how many languages did he have to translate a letter to say, we're going to kill all the Jews on this day, all the Israelites?
And there were the king's scribes called at the time in the 3rd month, which is the month Sivan, on the 3 and 20th day thereof. So basically the 23rd. And it was written according to all that Mordecai commanded concerning the Jews, even the satraps and the governors and princes of the provinces which are from India unto Ethiopia, 127 provinces, so 127 territories, unto every province according to the writing thereof. And and unto every people after their language, and to the Jews according to their writing and according to their language. And this is Esther 8.
On this day.
How many?
127. So he writes in 127 different languages from where to where? From Ethiopia to India. Hodu ad Kush. From Ethiopia to India, they're writing 127 different languages that we kill the Israelites to this day. If the Jewish people were only in Babylon for 70 years, how is it possible we reached Ethiopia to India speaking 127 different languages? Boom, you're pointing to the exact spot. This is the 10 tribes and Judah in one story again.
The Rashi Ketuvim by Rabbi Shraga Silverstein, Esther 9.
He's rounding us up together. And the fascinating thing over here is, at the 8th chapter of the book of Esther, it says there was people who were mityahadim. They converted because the fear of the Jews came upon them.
Right.
And if we really want to understand this, is not just Gentiles or non-Jews converting. These were the 10 tribes taking back on the halacha, the law of the Jewish people. As we do know that the Jewish people are destined to hold on to the law and not the 10 tribes, because Jacob's blessing to Judah in the Bereshit in Genesis is, you will hold on to the scepter of the law.
Hey, also shout out to this channel, Rabbi Harry Rosenberg. That's the channel we're watching right now.
Until Shiloh comes.
I stand with Israel, buddy. Don't copyright me.
Who's Shiloh? Our commentators say Shiloh is the Mashiach, the Messiah that's going to come. And the Baal HaTurim, he says the gematria, the numerical value of the word Shiloh is Mashiach. So basically, Judah holds on to halacha until Mashiach comes.
And then.
Wait, what does that say? He tethers his ass to a vine, his asses foal to a choice vine. He washes his garment in wine, his robe in blood of grapes. What? Huh, that's weird.
We're going to get to them, what's their role in a minute. But during this time where people in the 8th chapter of Esther were converting across the Silk Road, we can reference communities like the Bukharian communities, where Bukharian Jews don't claim.
And the Silk Road was basically, it ran from China all the way through the Middle East. It was basically a massive trading route. They called it the Silk Road. They traded spices, all that kind of stuff.
To be from the Judean exile. They claim to be from the 10 tribes, older community than the Jews. And when the story of Purim happened, they took on the laws of the Jewish people again. They retook on the laws.
So you're saying to me that when before this, the kingdom of Judah, so there was no really. It was called what? It was the kingdom of Israel was they not taking no. They didn't have any Jewish.
It was really Malchut David. Oh, before Malchut David, it was Shaul HaMelech. It was just the kingdom of Israel, people of Israel in their land. The 12 tribes united.
But they did have a halacha and Jewish traditions.
Yes, but you see that already at the time of the first temple, the northern 10 tribes were doing avodah zarah. They were worshiping idols. They built 2 idols in their land of golden cows, and they didn't allow them to go Ola L'Regel, to go to the Beit HaMikdash, the holy temple. So in the 10 tribes, in the Tanakh, it says when they're trying to go for the temple, they had guards guarding the border and said, you go to these temples of golden cows. So they're already worshiping idols at the time. So the law of
Yeah, like I said, that's from the Tanakh, so
Judah was far from them at a certain point.
So they weren't really
Sinning.
They were sinning.
Yeah, big time.
Okay.
Both the avodah zarah, idol worshippers.
Okay.
And you look at the Bukharian community, as we were saying, some of their last names are Issacharov, Yosefov, Benjaminov, all these names of these tribes.
Okay.
Shimonov.
that's the same thing they were doing when Moses came down from the mountain. They were worshiping the calf and stuff.
Reubenov.
Right.
These are the Bukharian Jews who, in this time of the Purim, got connected to us again.
I get you. Interesting.
So here we have this scenario, and if you see when we say the line of law stays in Judah until the Mashiach comes, if you see we have the judges, the prophets, the Tanaim wrote the Mishnah, the Amoraim wrote the Talmud, Saboraim, who were the ones redacting things, the Gaonim writing halachic responses, and then the Rishonim making books of the law based on what was said by the Gaonim, and then the Achronim, which are the rabbis of the last few hundred years, finally making everything clear. And today they say we have the Rosh Yeshivas. We have the leaders of the yeshivas, the closest thing we have. So I have here the list of...
And then we have Solomon, king of Judah.
He was from Judah.
No, Solomon, king of Judah. That's Shlomo Yehuda Be'eri.
Let's go. This is the Yanuka's name he's referencing, and we should be worthy. So first of all, it says in the Tanakh, which is probably where the Vilna Gaon gets his teaching from, it says in the future, don't worry. The 10 tribes will be found and brought back from all the corners of the world, and it says the staff of Joseph will one day unite with the staff of Judah, and this will be the redemption. So we know they disappeared, but for all these thousands of years, we know that there's a kingdom out there that we have to find and unite with. So we have these prophecies, and we're going to show them. Even most Jews don't even realize that they pray every single day.
Quick copyright pause.
Ashkenazim, at least, before Shmona Asrei, before the Amidah, they say Tzur Yisrael, Kuma Be'ezra Yisrael.
The Ashkenazi Jews are more from like European lineage, like the Russia area over in there, Europe.
Yehuda v'Yisrael. We speak every day when we pray that there should be the unification of Judah and Israel again.
There's a whole group of people out there who believe that all the Jews in Israel right now are Ashkenazi Jews and not the original Jews, which I don't believe that at all.
Exile we're in right now is simply just because of the split of the tribes. Once the tribes are united, we're the strongest force in the world.
And you also say it in Rosh Hashanah 12 times. You say Leolam Hashem Devarcha Nitzav B'Shamayim. You say 12 times because of the 12 tribes.
I love that. Thank you. It's our secret sauce. So now let's talk about where the tribes went and who's who. Within 100 years of the tribes of Israel going into the Far East, 3 major nations and spiritual religions come into birth within 100 years.
One.
The first one is we'll stop on the train. Is where they were sent to, which is Afghanistan.
Okay.
In Afghanistan today, you have a tribe called the Pashtun. The Pashtun number in Afghanistan 25 million people about, in Pakistan 15 million, and in India another 5 million. And we said it was from Hoduad Kush. So you see, from Afghanistan,
so 45 million total.
To India, there's a tribe called the Pashtun. The Pashtun have another word that they refer to themselves as. How they call themselves is what? Bani Israel.
Really?
Bani Israel.
Yeah, Bnei Israel.
The children of Israel is what they were called.
Wow.
Not 10% of, not 100% of the Afghan Pashtuns call themselves Bani Israel.
Wow.
Even Malala Yousafzai, who won the Nobel Peace Prize, her last name Yousafzai means children of Yosef, children of Joseph. She's a Pashtun, and she's referring to herself as Bani Israel, the children of Israel. And when I found that,
yeah, I mean, there's populations of Jews and Christians all over the Middle East still to this day. I mean, they're being heavily persecuted, especially in places like Africa and the Middle East. But they're definitely all over the place.
About this stuff about 15 or so years ago, the first thing I did was I went on Facebook and Twitter and was typing all the names: Yousafzai, Rubaini, Gadi, Ashuri, all the big tribes in Afghanistan. And I'm
gonna skip up here to the part where he is actually talking about the redemption and all that, because this is a pretty long video. You guys can come and check if you're interested. You can check out the rest of this. Like I said, it's Rabbi Harry Rosenberg is the channel, and the video is called Redemption Roadmap Confirmed by the Yanuka. But really, that's what I came to see what they were talking about. So let's get up here to it.
Black, and there's no such thing as white. We're both equally the children of God. We're both created in His image, basically.
It will be not necessary and by every time that we are the illegal and they are right, they are Islamic, etc., because they are not different. All of them are created by the same.
I made a video yesterday. This is the rabbi I was talking about. He tells, it's not this video, but he tells Benjamin Netanyahu, it was probably back in the late 80s, early 90s, the video, but he told Netanyahu that Netanyahu will be the one who hands the keys of Israel over to the Messiah himself, like personally. We'll try to find that video today, but it was definitely that rabbi right there.
And I said, this is the sign I see before going to bring the African. I said, you know what? I don't know who the Mashiach's going to be or who the Mashiach's not going to be, but here we have someone who is not normal, beyond human scopes. Wow. So that was just a small point to add. And let me tell you something. I know personally that our Prime Minister now, Bibi Netanyahu, is once. I don't ever do this.
I'm gonna back up because I want to see what he was talking about before that, because of what that statement right there was really interesting.
I did it one time. This thing called the Goral, where you could ask a question and open up a random page in the Rebbe Lubavitch writing, and then supposedly you get an answer right away. And people have wild stories of what has happened to them when they do it.
Right.
So I saw a website which is ask the Rebbe a question, and it automatically, randomly chooses from all the pages photocopied of his writings, and it's the same system. I said, okay. I saw this rabbi did it. I can't sleep at night, so I just type in. I said, is it true that the 10 tribes have to have a redemption before the redemption comes to the Jewish people? ? And I clicked send. And I get back one page. And I'm starting to read the page, and I'm like, this is not connected. It's talking about Hanukkah. It's talking about lighting the menorah. But then I see at the end of the paragraph, it says, just like at the end of the day, when the day is over and it's the darkest, you light the candle to make light for the next day to light. And you light it more. And the whole argument of the Mishnah is there going to be another day? And the Rebbe Lubavitch says at the end of the day, you make light for the next day, which really was like the most detailed answer I could have ever gotten for the argument from the Mishnah, right from the Rebbe. So I got chills. I said, I got so much chills. I don't even want to ask another question to ruin it, because this was the craziest experience that I could have had.
He's saying you make light for the next day.
Yeah.
So you need to make light.
That's right. We're doing what
That's
we're
what
doing.
you're doing.
We're making the pilut.
So you make light.
Yeah. Also, one other time I went.
I don't know if you guys caught that.
I got chills. I said, I got so much chills. I don't even want to ask another question to ruin it, because this was the craziest experience that I could have had.
He's saying you make light for the next day.
Yeah.
So you need to make light.
That's right. We're doing what
That's
we're
what
doing.
you're doing.
We're making the pilut.
So you make light.
Yeah.
So he says you need to make light. So Lucifer is known as the light bearer, guys. And look at the handshake here. It's called it's a grip. It's called the something grip, guys. You can look it up. That looks like the second knuckle. So, I mean, it's not hard to find out what this handshake is right here, guys. It's called the something grip. It's really easy to find. But it's not a coincidence after they said you need to make your own light, they do this handshake right here, guys.
Also, one other time I went to debate an African-American leader once, because he was saying that the Jewish people aren't really Jews and you stole the Torah from Egypt and we're really from ancient Egypt.
Yeah, he sounded like he was a black Hebrew Israelite.
I said, listen, I'm going to have to go and debate the guy, and it's okay, because he was really Igbo. He was really from the lost tribes of Israel. He didn't realize, and he was part of the community of people who are from the black Hebrew Israelites and all different types of communities who are looking for their place and identity, but they don't know where it is yet, but their heart is really from the blood of Israel. So before my debate, I'm flying from Israel to America, and it was a big debate in front of lots of people in Harlem, and I stop in the airport in the room with the Lubavitch Rebbe is giving his talk, and I look on the screen right before I got in the airplane, and is the Rebbe and Mayor Dinkins, the African-American mayor of New York City, shaking his hand, and he says, hey, there's no such thing as black, and there's no such thing as white. We're both equally the children of God. We're both created in his image, basically.
I mean, that's true. If you think about before the flood, we were all the same color and we all spoke the same language. So at one point in time, guys, we were all the same color.
It will be not necessary. And by the every time that you figure out that the leader of the Israel right to give that to his family to Torah, because they will not different. all of them are created by the same God.
And I said, this is the sign I see before going to bring the African. I said, you know what? I don't know who the Mashiach is going to be or who the Mashiach is not going to be. But here we have someone who is not normal, beyond human scopes. Wow. So that was just a small point to add. And let me tell you something. I know personally that our prime minister now, Bibi Netanyahu, wants the Geulah, wants the redemption. So bad. How do I know? One is because, thank God, the government is doing Afghanistan operations. Secondly, is Rav Kaduri told one of the greatest Kabbalistic rabbis of our generation, he told Bibi himself, to you, you hand over the keys to the Mashiach, like from you to Mashiach.
Yeah, see? I was talking about it yesterday. I was pretty sure it was Kaduri. But yeah, right there, Kaduri. It's on video. I'll see if I can find it. But he literally told Bibi Netanyahu, you will hand the keys over, the keys of Israel to the Messiah one day.
And when Bibi lost the last elections, everyone was laughing and not true. And then Bibi won again. Like, oh, Rabbi Kaduri's blessing will be right. Most people don't even believe that this story ever happened. Happened to be one time I was getting a bracha from...
Yeah, it happened. It's on video. I'll see if I can find the video. I've seen the video many times. It's on video.
A mystical, Kabbalistic lady that the Prime Minister's wife goes to. I'm not going to say information, who she is, where she is, a little secretive. I went to get a bracha, a blessing. And on my way out, I run...
Yeah, why is it secretive? Yeah, when it's secretive, guys, it's, yeah. There's a reason it's secretive.
Into an old man. Right there, I run right into him. I look at him in the eyes. I don't know why I said this, but I said, it must be you saw a big righteous person in your lifetime. He says, it's correct. I was the driver for Rav Kaduri. I was his driver. And I said, is it true? Did he tell Bibi he's going to hand over the keys to the Mashiach, to the Geulah? He says, yeah, it's true. And I filmed that conversation happening. Maybe I'll put it in the video here. And I was like, wow. So I know Bibi inside of his head, he wants the Mashiach to come. And the Lubavitch Rebbe also yelled, Bibi said, no, where's the Mashiach?
אז אח שלך, אתה נהג של רב כדורי?
הייתי הנהג של הרב כדורי.
וראיתי אותך בכביש ואמרתי, אני מרגיש שאתה מישהו, ואמרתי, שם של רב כדורי?
תראה איך הוא ידע.
אני לא יודע איך אני יודע דברים כאלה.
עובדים כבר. בעזרת השם.
מה, זה נכון שרב כדורי אמר לביבי, מהוא יבוא משיח?
הוא אמר, אתה תיתן את המפתחות למלך המשיח.
So,
I mean, he didn't blink or nothing, so he seemed to believe what he was saying was true for sure.
Hopefully we're living in a time where we can see Israel tap into and activate all the hundreds of millions of people around the world who would like to be.
But I don't speak that language, so I don't know for sure if that's 100% what they were talking about. But it sounded like what they were talking about because he said Kaduri and Mashiach. Mashiach means Messiah.
Be part of the house of Israel in a way where we're mamash or legoyim, we're a light onto the nations. We're bringing you our lights, our technology, infrastructure, governance, and we're not supporting wars anymore. This is when the nations of the world will trust the Jews. When they see, look what they're doing. They're bringing, they're helping, they're providing, they're serving us. They're not telling us what to do. They're not putting laws on us. We're raising our hand and asking to be included in this thing called the Kingdom of Israel. So I went to the Rav Yanuka. I went to the rabbi. Let me just give a minute about the Yanuka, who he is. In every, not even, I wouldn't say every generation, every few generations, maybe once every few hundred years, the people of Israel is gifted with, I don't know better words to call it, a freak, someone not normal, someone with a non-normal brain and mind.
A freak. That's an interesting word to use, a freak.
Who at a very young age is able to master the whole entire Torah, the Talmud Bavli, the Talmud.
That's why I'm saying Yanuka is a good candidate for false prophet. A lot of people think it's going to be a pope. I mean, it could be. It's definitely going to be some type of religious leader for sure. I think Yanuka is a really good candidate.
Talmud Yerushalmi, the Zohar, the Midrashim, the Halacha, the books that the sages wrote for 2,000 years, and know them by heart, backwards and forwards in the inside of their mind. And not only that, they're known for performing miracles and wonders.
Yeah, see, in the video yesterday, I told you guys he supposedly memorized every book of Jewish literature. the Talmud, the Tanakh, the Zohar, the Torah, which is, I've heard it's hundreds of thousands of pages of material. And then he just said he performs miracles. That's exactly how the false prophets describe, guys. It says he could bring fire from heaven.
And today, we didn't even know about it until a few years ago because he was staying hidden. There was a man called the Yanuka, the Rabbi Yanuka.
Yeah, why would he stay hidden? Like, he fits so perfect for a false prophet of the Bible.
Yanuka means to like pull from the source.
Not a false prophet, the false prophet of Revelations that accompanies the Antichrist.
Who's alive from Sephardic descent. I heard maybe from the Arizal, from not, I don't know, from the Arizal's family, we'll have to clarify that, but from Sephardic descent, who is someone who's living like from hundreds of years ago.
And that's the other thing is, he supposedly is Assyrian through his grandpa. His grandpa was an Assyrian Jew. So it's pretty interesting.
A Kabbalist who sees...
And the Jews are awaiting two Messiahs. Messiah ben David and Messiah ben Joseph, or Mashiach.
Things and his blessings work. And we hear all these stories, but the story's compiling now of this young man in his 30s who 70-year-old and 80-year-old rabbis are coming and back.
Yeah, and then he's in his 30s. And right here, listen to this. That's what I was saying. It's unheard of for 70 and 80-year-old rabbis to bow and kiss a 30-year-old man's hands. You guys don't understand. It does not happen in Israel. That is so unheard of. Like, it doesn't happen. When I saw that, I peeked up and started paying attention to this man. I was like, oh, wow. Because I knew that it does not happen like that over there. It's the other way around.
Sent. I heard maybe from the Arizal, from not, I don't know, from the Arizal's family, we'll have to clarify that, but from Sephardic descent, who is someone who's living like from hundreds of years ago, a Kabbalist, who sees things and his blessings work. And we hear all these stories, but the story's compiling now of this young man in his 30s who 70-year-old and 80-year-old rabbis are coming and bowing down and kissing his hand. And he goes to the Ashkenazi Hasidim, and they all gather by the thousands for him to make them sing songs and teach Torah to them. It's like the most wondrous thing we have alive today. So I went to the Yanuka and I said, here's the Vilna Gaon, here's what he said, here's what's happening in Afghanistan, here's what the state of Israel may be doing to activate them and create a front against Iran. I said, what does the rabbi say? He says, that is the start of the Geula in itself. That's the start of the redemption. And we know right now, we'll talk about the timeline, that we're before Shabbat. There's 7 days of creation, there's 7,000 years of history. At the start of the 6,000th year is the Great Shabbat. But that's, a couple hundred years away. But we know the Jewish people make an early Shabbat. We light candles 18 minutes early, and Jerusalem 40 minutes early. So too, we can enter this Great Shabbat, the redemption, a little bit earlier, hopefully, according to this timeline.
Amen.
And now that we're talking about the Yanuka, I'd like to just share a quick story.
I'm waiting for this story.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting what he just said, guys.
And this is a true story, and I'll put all the pictures and the things to verify. So I first met the Yanuka after I heard about him 3 years ago on the holiday of Shavuot. Right after I heard about him, I was running down to the mikveh in Silwan in the Arab village. They open up the mikveh there, and I see a rabbi coming up with hundreds of people. And all of a sudden I say, who's that? They say it's the Yanuka, and I go, wow. And he's walking, and everyone's trying to get a blessing and pushing here. And he's walking, and he stops right next to me and looks at me. Doesn't say a word. I didn't say a word. Everyone's, what's going on? So it's like an awkward silence. So then I yell out in Hebrew. I say, let me tell everyone here a story. I said, just 2 weeks ago, I heard about the Rabbi Yanuka, and I said I should be worthy to run into him in Jerusalem and get a bracha. And here we are. So the Yanuka starts laughing. He gives me a big bracha, my son a bracha, and we carry on to the mikveh all night
Bracha is a blessing, basically.
long. People coming over to us saying, who are you? How did you get the blessings? Not giving blessings now. What's the story? I said, I don't know. So I went to go see Yanuka that week and got in with him. We were talking about the tribes and everything. Fascinating stuff. 1 year later, Chag HaShavuot, same holiday, same place, same time. I'm with my son going to the mikveh, 3:30 in the morning. Maybe it was different. Oh, again, we run into the Yanuka. And I say,
I've also heard that the Yanuka speaks a ton of different languages. I haven't been able to confirm that, but I've heard that.
Rabbi, come over here. I have to tell you updates about Afghanistan, what's going on, because we have serious operations now. Rabbi Yanuka's so happy to hear. I say, okay, I'll see you later, Rabbi. And about a half hour later or something, it's coming time for Nate's for morning prayer. So I'm now getting ready to leave the old city, and I take a shortcut by King David's tomb. There's a field over there where the basketball court is. The church built a basketball court over the entrance to the tombs of the kings. And there's always like a little secret gate that's open. You can escape by the church backyard to get to Baka and Yamin Moshe, the neighborhoods. So, and the Yanuka prays by Yamin Moshe, so it's the path I like to take. I get to the gate, me, my son, and his few friends, and we see this year, for some reason, it's locked. We're trying to push and kick, but we look, it's a bolt on the top, sticking up locked, and a bolt on the bottom, locked, and sticking out locked, and a bolt in the middle, locked in 3 places. We push, we kick. I say to my son and his friends, I don't know what to tell you guys. It's unfortunate, but we got to turn around and go back the other way. They go, okay. So they turn around, they go back, and we start walking. After 10 meters of walking, less than a minute, I see in a pitch black field a group of 100 men and a little rabbi in the middle, and it's the Yanuka. I go, wow. So they're walking towards me, and I go, oh, Rabbi, I forgot to tell you one thing about Afghanistan. We start talking here and there. He says, it'll happen, we're good. But his Chassidim were like pushing and kicking me because it's time for a morning prayer. They were like in a big rush. So I say to the rabbi, L'tza'ari, Rabbi, I'm sorry, Rabbi, but the gate here is locked. We have to go around the other way to Har Zion to leave this way through the main gate. Instantaneously, without blinking an eye, the Yanuka says back to me in Hebrew, Ze yipatach lanu. It's going to open for us. I thought to myself, maybe this is a crazy rabbi. Maybe it's a little bit too much. Because I'm like a scientific guy, I like the math and the science. And so next thing you know, I'm right next to the rabbi, and we walk towards the gate. And by the way, I sent the next day someone to take pictures of what the gate looks like so you can see. He's standing at the gate. I'm at the gate next to him. My son's there. 50 people around us in a circle. And again, it was the longest awkward silence of my life. About 5 or 6 minutes, no words, no touching anything. The rabbi standing there like this, like meditating in front of the gate, in deep meditation. 5 minutes, 6 minutes. I'm looking around like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is going to be so embarrassing when it's... And then all of a sudden, he sticks out his hand, and the gate swings open.
Yeah. Tell me that's normal, guys. Wow, that's insane. Insane. They've said he's performed a bunch of miracles, cured people of cancer. Some guy had like a tumor in him, it disappeared. Tell me this isn't a perfect person for the false prophet, guys.
And the rabbi keeps walking like fast, like nothing happened. Half of his team, half the guys, or the more than half, fell into a state I saw of shock. It means their legs were shaking and trembling, and they couldn't move. And we stood there for about 5 or so minutes trying to close the door, but we couldn't close it because all the bolts were sticking out, and it was all still locked. 3 locked, all sticking out. We saw with our own eyes, metal went right through metal.
Yeah, I wonder how that happened, guys.
Didn't understand what we saw.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean metal went through metal?
If this is the bolt,
Obviously, if it's locked, the metal would have to go through the metal for it to open. That's crazy. Satan's lying and deceiving wonders, guys.
and it was still on this side of the door, it went to the other side, right in front of our face.
So you lost all logic.
We lost all logic.
You lost
I
logic.
had no clue what I saw until today. I don't understand what I saw. But I remember when I was in yeshiva, they told me stories. I was in yeshiva in Sfat. They told me stories of the Arizal, who was one of the greatest Kabbalists in the history of Kabbalah, who he opened locked gates.
One of the greatest Kabbalists.
Sorry about the cat. He opened locked gates with his mind in Sfat that were locked.
Or I would say with the help of a demon or fallen angel, but who's counting?
So we see him, and they say the stories about the Baba Sali, another Sephardic Kabbalist. He was opening up locked gates in Jerusalem that were locked by the Ottomans of the church. He would come with his mind, boom, it would swing open. So afterwards, I've already heard the Yanuka joke about this. He says, opening up lock gates is my specialty. Like, he makes jokes about it. I was just with him on Yom Kippur. I was just, no, it's crazy. I was just with him on Yom Kippur, and he's the Chazan for Ne'ilah, and they're doing the end of this, and he looks at me. And my son's there, everyone's there, he looks at me, and he keeps going to me like this.
Yo.
Joking, and he's making jokes the whole Yom Kippur. The gates are gonna open. The gates are gonna open. One time, I'm going to show the video on this thing. I was at a Hasidic Tish. It means he comes to Jerusalem, and all the Hasidim in the Payas and the Beer, the Ashkenazim. You don't see Ashkenazim come.
That's crazy. What do you guys think about that? That's insane.
To Sephardic Tishes. He comes. Thousands of Ashkenazim come to see him. He's there. Everyone's pushing to get the blessing at the end. He's leaving to his car. And I already know, if you want to get a blessing from the rabbi, where to stand. You don't follow him. You wait by the car. And you put your leg on the side of the car right before his door opens. So when he opens his door, I could stick my hand in. They're not going to close the door in my hand. I'll get him. I want to bless him. So he gets to his car. I get his hand. He sees me and he goes, oh, all the gates are going to open this year. He always called me like the gate lock guy. I take the rabbi's hand and I scream at the top of my lungs, the loudest I could scream in front of 1,000 people maybe. I say, no one forget the story when the rabbi opened up the locked gate on Chag HaShavuot in front of our eyes. And I said, and I believe in science, math, and I saw it with my own eyes. Everyone there was like, whoa. And the Yanuka was there like agreeing that it happened, you know? So it's like and they put it on YouTube. So now on YouTube you could see the Yanuka agreeing that this story happened.
אל תשכח את הנס שהיה בחג השבועות, שמה ינוקה עשה, תפתח את הדלת הנעול, נכון? כולם שומעים שראיתי בעיניים שלי נס בפרהסיה כמו בבא סאלי שעשה ינוקה, שהוא פתח שער בהר ציון בקבר דוד המלך, הוא פתח את זה בניץ, הוא אמר, הרב ינוקה אמר, זה ייפתח לנו.
See how they protect him, though? They stand in front of him, and just how people stand and look at the man. It's crazy.
איפה האנשים? אני בעל מידע. ראיתי בעיניים שלי. Yeah, let's go.
I mean, we're dealing with a situation where this is a rabbi who could make a Sanhedrin, a court, cancel out the chief rabbi of Sephardic and Ashkenazi, unite the Jews finally, give us power to control the nation.
That's a powerful statement right there, guys. Canceled out and unite the Jews and then make them a power. That's a powerful statement he just made.
I've seen the Yanuka come to Hasidim and Me'asharim with his keyboard and make everyone sing Hamalach HaGoel and these songs, and it makes you want to cry. You see, look how innocent we are, God. We're just singing before you. Like, we're on such a low level. We're so far from you. So much blind hatred in our communities, and here we are. We're singing before you. And I saw this rabbi is pulling mercy out of everyone and pulling mercy from God at the same time.
Wow.
Real righteous person.
Yeah, see right there. This guy and the guy next to him, always with him. Right here. He's not with him all the time, but this guy right here is with him every time you see Yanuka. He is with him. This guy is with him probably half the time.
It, and it was in a lot of recent shiurim about the upcoming redemption, is that a sign for the future redemption is the return of the Of HaChol, the phoenix bird. We know the phoenix bird.
You know, the phoenix is an occult symbol, rising up out of the ashes, aka rebirth. It's satanic, guys. It's what they consider rebirth in Satanism, right? Burning to the ground and rising up out of the ashes. It's a rebirth. It's like a satanic baptism, basically.
Actually is not a mythological bird. It comes from the Torah, from Judaism. It's in the book of Job, book of Eov. And the commentators say it was the only bird that didn't eat from the Garden of Eden, from the Tree of Knowledge. And this is why it was allowed to live 1,000 years and get reborn into fire and be eternal. It was a story that the Rav Yanuka told, that he was doing meditations out in the Midbar, in the desert. And he was meditating about which he does.
That's interesting. Just like Jesus, guys, he was out meditating in the desert. What are the odds of that?
Often he goes to meditations. He was meditating about the phoenix bird. Where is it? What's going on? What's going to be? And the way he tells the story, he turned around and it was there, right behind him. A big, giant, scary bird. And he said it opened up its wings and it was terrifying for him to see such a scary big bird. And this was on the holiday. He told the story. My friend went over to him after the holiday and said, what's going on? Really? You saw the Of HaChol? You saw the phoenix bird that we know is somewhere hiding in Israel? And he said, yeah. And he draws a picture of what he saw. My friend took a picture what the rabbi drew. So I have a picture that the Yanuka drew.
You serious?
Yeah, of what he saw when he said he saw the phoenix bird.
Show me.
This is what the Rabbi Yanuka drew. Wow. You see like the fire tails at the end and the big wings and the wow. He said it was like the size
of a jumbo plane.
So we're living in interesting times. I hope that if we're all serious about the Gula, if we're serious about the redemption, we'll be serious about what the Vilna Gaon says, what our prophecy says, that there are people who claim to be from the 10 tribes. The Jewish people have to recognize them, partner with them to end military corrupt wars, to bring peace into the world. And finally, we'll have a third temple, the Beit HaMikdash in Jerusalem, where all nations will be invited to come pray.
You heard that? All nations.
All nations. And you come and your third eye will open, your pineal gland will open, you'll experience the divinity within yourself, the God within you.
Yeah, no thanks, guys. That's what Scripture tells us about. That's the forbidden knowledge we're not supposed to access, guys. The third eye, the pineal gland, the pine cone, which is represented all throughout Catholicism. It's not knowledge we're meant to have yet, guys. That's why it says it's forbidden knowledge.
You, and we'll all be Mashiach, as they say. Mashiach is just a state that could happen to a human. We will all be Mashiach in the future. There will be Mashiachs that help us get there. And we could speculate from now till tomorrow who the Mashiach is, but we just know that the Mashiach has a job, and when the job is done, we'll call that person the Mashiach, and then he will teach us all how to be Mashiach ourselves. This is why I think people have Mashiach syndrome. You know how many guys came over to me already and said, don't tell anyone, I'm the Mashiach. Yeah. I said, yeah, I don't know what to tell you, but you're number 20 on the list, but you're not crazy.
Right.
Because you may be Mashiach after the Mashiach teaches you what you have inside of your brain.
Yeah, I don't think so. Garbage. But yeah, pretty interesting, guys. What are your thoughts? Let me know down below. I thought that was pretty fascinating, actually. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good choice for the false prophet myself. But we're gonna go ahead and end it there. It's been an hour and 15. I like to keep them short, so I'll catch you guys tomorrow with something new. All right, guys. God bless.